In this section, we will focus on one of the biggest advancements in IT history, cloud computing, to which others refer to as simply cloud. We will talk about how it works, along with brief history and current status. We will also be discussing the challenges of security and privacy which arose once the cloud was implemented worldwide. Let's get right into it. So what is a cloud? Cloud is a huge data center ready to serve millions of users worldwide. The other term used is cloud computing, which refers to the process of providing such virtual space for the other users. Cloud can be limited to a single organization or can be available to many organizations. Currently, we have three biggest clouds on the market. First, Amazon Web Services, known as AWS, second, Google Cloud, and third, Microsoft Azure. For quite some time now, we have been witnessing a phenomenon known as cloud wars. It is a rivalry between the biggest service cloud providers for the amount of users. Currently, the number one is Microsoft, but it might change very soon. Future battleground of the cloud wars? It will be mostly around artificial intelligence and blockchain services, and who can benefit from it. What are the challenges when you store so many information of your clients? One of the more interesting problems is the legal ownership of the data. Let's go deeper. If a user stores some data in the cloud, can the cloud provider profit from it? Many terms of service agreements are silent on the question of ownership. Physical control of the computer equipment, like in the case of a private cloud, is a more secure option than having the equipment offsite and under someone else's control, like in the case of a public cloud. There is also a risk that end users do not understand the issues involved when signing on to a cloud service. People sometimes do not read the many pages of the terms of service agreements and just roll down and click accept without reading. This is important now that the cloud computer is becoming popular and required for some services to work. For example, an intelligent personal assistant such as Apple's Siri. Fundamentally, private cloud is seen much more secure option with higher levels of control for the owner, but the public cloud is seen to be more flexible and requires less time and money investment from the user. We can also ask ourselves, is the data we store online secure and private? The answer to this question lies in the privacy policy document of one of the very famous service, Dropbox. If we look closely, we can see that we agree that our data can be handled to a third party under numerous cases. Similar situations occurs in privacy policies of many other cloud computing service providers. So what is the solution? Cloud computing poses privacy concerns because the service provider can access the data that is in the cloud at any time. It could accidentally or deliberately alter or delete information. Many cloud providers can share information with third parties if necessary for purposes of law and order without a warrant. That is permitted in their privacy policies, which users must agree to before they can start using cloud service. And solutions to privacy include mostly policy and legislation, as well as end users' choices for how data is stored on the cloud, because users can always encrypt data and later upload it. Because data from hundreds of thousands of companies can be stored on large public cloud servers, hackers can theoretically gain control of huge stores of information through a single attack. Some examples? Let's analyze quickly Dropbox security leak from 2014. Dropbox has been breached in October, having over 7 million of its users' passwords stolen by hackers in an effort to get monetary value from it by bitcoins on the darknet. Here we are able to see what are the dangers awaiting service cloud providers when it comes to hacking activities. Which guidelines are important for cloud providers when dealing with cyber threats? First step is to encrypt data that is processed or stored in the cloud to prevent unauthorized access. Second, find a solution to privacy policy problem. Here we are faced with two issues. One, demands for consumers for privacy, and second, pressure from the governmental intelligence agencies to allow them to access the data stored in the cloud whenever they deem necessary. Third part, we need to remember about identity management systems, which can also provide practical solutions to privacy concerns in the cloud computing. In addition, such systems are able to distinguish between authorized and unauthorized users and determine the amount of data that each user can store online. Fourth point, is the amount of data stored online posing a problem? What do we mean by that? The amount of data which can be used by a specific individual is also becoming more important, because when humanity entered Industrial Revolution and started powering up factories with wood, United Kingdom alone cut almost 70% of the forests in 19th century. When humanity discovered plastic, we started overusing it in only few decades after discovery. Now it is a very big problem. Some are afraid similar fate awaits for the cloud resources, which are obviously limited if we consider the amount of energy used to power up servers and the growing population in the world. And each of us require some cloud space to use. We must account for the fact that today the minority of elder population is using the service. However, when current generation start to get old, they will be using the same cloud space they are using today. And along with the future generations to come, we might overuse online resources. We do not claim it might happen, but it is an interesting concept. Last but not least, the cloud deployment process is very vulnerable and calls for authentication management tools that can resolve this vulnerability. Authentication is of a primary importance for access control in the cloud. In conclusion, cloud computing offers many benefits, but it is also vulnerable to many threats. The number of cloud solutions users increase every day, making them a target for hackers. Hackers work almost 24 hours to exploit or break system vulnerabilities. Day by day, the security of cloud resources is challenged online. Security concerns must be addressed to maintain trust in cloud computing technology. A compromised server could significantly harm the users as well as the cloud providers. A variety of information could be stolen. These include personal data, credit card, accounts, passwords, or social security number, addresses, and personal messages. One also needs to remember about the privacy policy problem, which we covered before, and the concept of the ownership of the data, which one can store online.